Hey everybody, Mags here, and this is the first styled stitch video tutorial that I'm going to be doing. This one is on the basket weave stitch that you see here. There are a couple of things when you're doing the basket weave that are a little bit different versus when you're doing something else. You start off just like with anything else with a slip knot and a chain stitch. But let's say you're just doing a single crochet or even a double crochet. We'll do that one because that's what these are, a series of double crochets. And it's just back and forth until you build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need 5 double crochet once you get to the end, because every time you turn for a double crochet you chain up 3 times. So you would crochet an extra 1, 2, 3 chains, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In that 5th chain, skipping the 3 you just made, you do your first double crochet, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. And real quick about what a post is, because this is front and back post stitching. Each one of these little things from your chain stitch up to this, that's a post. And these little V shapes on top is how many stitches you have to work with for the next row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To go to the next row for a double crochet, you chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then you turn your work, and right underneath that first little V, literally right underneath it, you wrap your yarn and put your hook right underneath that V, just like you, and finish out your double crochet just like with the chain, except instead of into a chain or a single whatever, you take it and you put it underneath both of the V stitches. But that's it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you do it again, and it will stay this width all the way up. But when you're doing a basket weave, this would actually be 6 stitches because you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this extra 3 chain that you did actually counts as a first post. So to do a basket weave, one of the first things you have to figure out is how wide you want your weaving. Mine are 4 stitches wide. You can do 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to each one of these being a set of 20 if you want, and depending on the size of your project and what you're doing. I'm just going to replicate this with 3 across, and each weaving is a set of 4. So that's 4, 8, 12. I need 12 stitches. So to do the same kind of basket weave like I have there, you make your slip knot and you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, but you stop. You stop there because that's 11. Now remember the chain 3 that you used to do for your double crochet that you skip, that actually counts as your first one. So once you get to 11, you always count one less than what you need for the basket weave. And once you get to your 11, then you do 1, 2, 3, and then you start 1, 2, 3, 4 in the 4th chain from the hook, which is that 11th stitch. And then you go across doing your double crochet, and you should have 12 posts. 11 stitches going by the V's on top, but you should have 12 posts, counting the chain 3 that you skipped to start the double crochet. Sounds more complicated than it is. You just got to remember that if you're doing a basket weave that's got a triple crochet, you want 12 stitches on, you chain 11 and then chain an extra 4 to start the triple crochet. Start in your 5th chain from the hook, and just always remember that the chain you do counts as a post. Because like I said, for the basket weave, it's front post stitching and back post stitching, which is actually really easy, and I will show you that as soon as I get to the end, which I only have 2 more left. And my last one. There. Now if you count your little V shapes on top, because like I said, these little V's are the stitches that you use for all the next rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And you should have 11 posts plus your chain 3 that you skipped. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and at chain 3, that's 12. So we have the right number of posts that we need to start a basket weave. Okay. First thing you do is you chain 1, 2, 3. Now that just stays with this one, so you're actually going to start in your 2nd post. This is your 1st post after you turn your work. And when you turn your work, you can turn it this way, or you can turn it this way, which is what I usually do. Wrap your yarn, because this is going to be a double crochet stitch, and put it behind the 2nd post. Go in through the hole right next to it and come back out. Pull your yarn through and finish your double crochet. And see how it looks like it's an elongated post, and on this side it doesn't. That's the beauty of front and back post stitching. Again, a front post, you go in through the front and put it behind the very next post. Finish your stitch one more time. Go in behind the next post, pull it through, and there we have 1, 2, 3 front post stitches, but this also counts as 1, 2, so you actually have, this is your first set of 4. Now we're going to do the back post stitching, which is exactly the same way, except after you wrap your yarn, make sure you keep it wrapped by putting your hook in between this part of your yarn and your project. Go through the next one and out. You're actually putting it in front of it, in front of the next post. Pull your yarn through and then finish your your double crochet. Again, this is the post you just did your back post double crochet on. This very next post, go from the back to the front to the back, pull your yarn through and finish your stitch. Again, go from the back to the front right back to the back, around the next post, pull your yarn through, and I didn't hook it. There we go. And then finish your double crochet. One more time. Wrap your yarn, go in from the back to the, from the front to the back, pull your yarn back to the front to the back, pull your yarn through, and finish your stitch. And there is your 4 back double crochet, which from the front looks like it's 2 little ones, but if you flip it over, this part looks just like this part, which we're going to do 4 more of the front. So you wrap it, put it behind the next post from the front, pull your yarn through, and finish. Again, from the front to the back and the back to the front, behind the next post, pull your yarn through, and finish your stitch. And now you do the very same thing on this chain 3 that we skipped when we did our foundation, when we did our chain and then our foundation row. But on this one, you can't put it in front of it or behind it. So you wrap it, and in this hole right here in between this post and this chain, you just do your double crochet there. And then you turn your work and then chain 1, 2, and 3. And then again, you skip this one and you go straight into this next post. But you can't see the whole post this way, so you gotta pay attention and kind of look from the back as well. And because this is a front post and this is what a back post looks like, for this 3rd row, we're starting with the back post. From the back to the front, back to the front to the back, and then finish your stitch. And you can actually kind of fold this row stitching down a little bit so you can see your post. From the front back to the front back to the back, pull your yarn through, and finish your stitch. One more time. And finish your stitch. Sorry about that, my TV got kind of loud. I had to grab my remote and turn it down. Okay, and then on these ones, again, you do the front post stitch. Wrap your yarn, put it behind that post, and then finish your stitch. Do all 4 of the front post stitches. And just makes them even longer. Now, the best way that I found to know when you're doing your last row of that particular section of the weave is right here. You'll see 1, 2, 3 little rows of these V shapes right here, all bunched on each other, on the ones that you do the back post on. That's how I know when it's time to switch. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And depending on how thick you want these, just like how wide, depending on how thick, you can go, as long as it's at least 2, you can go 2 to 30 if you want to. I usually stick with every 3 rows I switch the pattern. Now, again, we're going to do 3 more back posts. Wrap your yarn from the front, back to the front, and then to the back around the next post. Again. And again, if you're still having trouble trying to figuring out the front post and back posts, I will be doing another video where I focus on just that. Or you can also just go back to the beginning when I start with row 2 and show how to do the front and back posts there, and just pause it and try again, watch it again, pause it, try again, and then from this post to this chain 3, again in that hole we just go down in it. And then we chain 3 and turn your work. Now we're going to change, this is where you'll actually get the pattern. Instead of doing a front post and following pattern, we're going to switch it around and we're going to do a back post on the next 3 posts. And then you do right here where we would be doing a back post, we do a front post. We do that to all 4 of these posts. Practice is the key with this and any other stitch. Then on these 3, since they were front post stitch, we do back post stitch. When we flip our work, you'll start to see where the pattern goes into the basket weave. And then in the hole, we're going to chain 3 and then turn. Now, once you get to this point, you're only going to switch every other row. And we'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. See, it's 1, 2, where is it 3? Yeah, it is 3. You'll switch every 3 rows. These are front posts now. So we're going to do 3 front posts. Now we're going to do 4 back posts. And once you get the pattern kind of set as to how wide this way you want them and how tall this way you want them, it's just a matter of remembering that every 3 rows you switch and you do the opposite of what you see on your work. On the 3rd row, if it shows a front post stitch, you do back post. Or if it shows a back post, you do front post. This is row 2 of the 2nd step. And then through the hole, finish row 2, 1, 2, 3. and then you turn your work, and this will be the third one for this row, so we'll stop. When we start the next row, we're gonna do what's down here again, front, back, front. Right now we are on our final back to start. And then our final front for this part of the pattern. Some more yarn off. And then back. And then in the space, finish it off. And then chain 1, 2, 3, turn your work. And now we do the complete opposite of what's there. This is front post, and now we're going to go straight in and do back post. Front. I'm actually going to stop at the end of this row because then you'll be able to see the pattern. I will be making a group for my DeviantArt page that I have. That group will be for all the different how-tos for the decorative. Like this one, I'll leave a pattern and details on how to do it there as well. And that will be linked in the description once I get that set up. So I don't have it set up quite yet, but it is in the process. Oops, that's a half double. There we go. And now, if you look right here in the middle, you see on mine, which is just a couple rows shorter, flip it so it looks exactly the same. You'll see where you have the rows going here, and that are side to side, and this looks like it's up and down. And then these look like they're up and down, and this is side to side. And you can see where this is starting the side to side, and this is up and down. And that's all there is to it. That is the basket weave stitch. It's actually really simple, especially once you get into it and you practice and you get the hang of it. It's really, really simple. And that is it for today's Crochet 101 with Mags. And I hope I will see you in the next video. In the next video, we will be talking about how to do the corner to corner increase. And until then, happy crochet!